At the Zoom room, and I'm so happy to see so many of our alumni back. Welcome to everybody. I'm not going to mention everybody because I know then I'll forget somebody, and some current students and people who are not yet in TIS or who are in other units. Absolutely delightful welcome to everybody. So as you know, today we're going to hear from a couple of our wonderful alumni of the master's program here at the University of Illinois to tell us about what they're doing in the profession and how they've used their master's degree, what they've been up to since they left the program. And we have two of our alumni, Manar Kodamah and Kwon Lee. And I think we'll go ahead and start with Manar. Manar Kodamah earned her MA in 2019 and concentrated on interpreting. And I won't say much more because I'm going to let you hear the story directly from her. The title of her presentation is Understand, Get Ready, and Dive. Manar, go for it whenever you're ready.
Thank you so much.
Joyce, sorry to interrupt, Joyce. Can you make Manar the co-host? Somehow I don't have the function in my page here.
That's
exactly as well.
That's exactly what I was gonna ask.
All ready to go.
Okay, so
Thanks.
no problem. Give me 1 second so I can share my,
Awesome.
yeah, let me share my screen. Okay. Sorry, just 1 second. Technology is always something, right?
Yeah, always.
Okay. Let's see if this is gonna work.
And I think while Manar's getting all ready, I'll just mention after Manar's presentation, we'll have a few minutes for questions for Manar. And then Cohen will do her presentation. And after that, we want to allow a little bit of time for questions for both of our presenters. So Manar, if you're ready, your screen looks beautiful.
Thank you. Hi, everyone, and I will try to speak as fast as I can so I can give you as much information. As Dr. Joyce said, my name is Manar Kodamah. I was one of the students, and I have the most amazing experience in my master's degree with the great professors and instructors that we had. I graduated 2019 with a bunch of great friends too. So thank you, Dr. Joyce. Thank you, Quinn. Thank you, everyone was there during my time. I want to just say that it was a great experience. I was so scared when I did it. I messed up during my dissertation discussion, and I know that that question still bug me until now, and it's stuff that happened. So it happened to the best of us, to everyone. Please don't stress over it because things happen. So I work right now for Dearborn Public Schools, and it's the third largest district in Michigan state. We have 37 schools actually, and we have over 42 programs. I am the district liaison for language services. I provide Arabic interpreting and translation. I have a small crew I'm trying to increase. I'm also the provider for all other languages. We have almost 65 languages right now in our district. In addition to that, I am the homeless and foster care liaison also, and the OCR coordinator. So I make sure that we provide the services that it is. When I graduate from the program, my goal was to be an interpreter in the UN. So I put that in front of me and I went to the program, and my dream was to be on the screen and interpreting in the booth. Unfortunately, did not happen. But I figured out that this is not the only field or the only thing I can do. So I was stuck to that idea. That's my dream. I want to do it. But to be honest with you, with working and with days passing and finding myself helpful and beneficiary to the community and other parts, I did not really keep that dream, and I try to excel in what I do. So my specialty is educational interpreting, and that's a big shift from politics and from the UN to educational. So if we can write in the chat or something, I just want to hear some of your expectation as a student in the program. What do you expect is going to happen after? Wow, we graduate, we flip the hat. So what's the expectation? If anyone, I don't know if they can be unmute or write in the chat.
Thanks, Manar. And we can read some of the things that are put in the chat just in case you can't see it while you're.
Yes, thank you.
So I want to be a medical interpreter is one.
Great.
I'm hoping to, lots of things. I'm going to read them in order. I'm hoping to potentially go for a PhD in interpretation. One person says to start working right away after graduation. Another, continue working as an interpreter, but with a different perspective, with theory to back my decisions. Another, I'm still not sure. That's what's scary.
Well, that's great. All of these answers is what we all think about when we start. So we have a dream, we have a set idea in our mind, and we want to do that. But unfortunately, to be realistic, there's a lot of obstacles may face us, and that's where our expectations sometimes, oh, I didn't expect to graduate and don't have work for like a blah time. I didn't expect that our profession is still underestimated, and people can think that any bilingual person can interpret or translate. So our expectation is that we're gonna go out to the field, or at least for my own point of view, and we're gonna find road of roses. But it's not, that's not how it is. But we can make it world of roses. Like, it's up to us to know how to pave our way and how to make sure that we are going directly toward the right direction. It might not be our dream, but it could be the right direction for this. Okay, our journey, for me, when I graduated, I thought, oh, first thing I'm gonna have, they're gonna increase my salary. I'm gonna have a raise, yay, because now I have a master's degree. Did not happen, because obviously I am not an instructional staff member. The second thing, oh, they're gonna help me paying off my debt, student debt, because they reimburse you if you are working in a educational institute. Did not happen. Yes, right now everyone is gonna know that I am the interpreter, certified translator and interpreter, and my word is gonna be it. It didn't happen. So my expectation was really higher than what I faced. But with all these years, I've been working there. I start working there 2015, graduated 2019 with 2 degrees, certification of translation and the master. I exactly knew what I need to do to have that future that I dreamt of, or to gain the things that I want. For the people who said, I want to be a medical interpreter, I want to be legal interpreter, I want to do this, I want to do that. Are you sure? That's something we need to think about it. Am I capable of being there? Interpreting, and interpreting specifically is not an easy thing to do. There's a very huge side of your emotion, social, emotional involvement in that job, and we have to be ready to do that. The possibilities that we have is endless. We can be any kind of interpreters we want. We can work for full-time, we can be freelancers, we can be, like you said, a medical, legal, educational. We can work on a specific project, like working, for example, with educational event. We can work with scientific events, with art, with a lot of stuff. There is need for us everywhere, especially with a lot of newcomers to the country all the time. We are needed. It's just the point of we prove that we are here, and no one and nothing can replace us, because we have parts that no machines, no bilingual person can cover for us. From my own experience, specialization is very important. I've been offered to work in a hospital. I've been asked to think about being a legal interpreter, But from my experience, I felt like I am really working hard in my field. There is a need for interpreters in education. I really love to be there. Pros and cons is you don't make much money. If you frame yourself in a certain part, because a lot of us can take a certificate, can take classes to be medical, can take classes to be legal. There is nothing for educational yet. We're working on it. But if you limit yourself, that means there is unlimited resources of financial resources. So sometimes this is something we really need to think about. But at the same time, if you excel in your field, you will be really making up part of that loss, but you will be really exceptional. You will be wanted, needed. A lot of people will ask for you to interpret in their event. So you can build something when you lose something. It will take time in years, but it will happen at the end. So achieving mastery, this is the understanding part. So before we, okay, any question? So after we graduate and we are working, and now we are facing an assignment. I have an assignment and I need to accept that assignment. The first thing, I have to understand myself. I have to understand my abilities. I have to figure out, am I fit for that assignment? I need to know my skills, my knowledge, my limits physically and mentally. I need to know who's going to be with me if I'm doing simultaneous interpreting. Am I going to be able to cover the whole thing by myself? It's consecutive interpreting. I need to know my client, my venue, my audience, my speaker. And the last part is my total available processing capacity, which is a very huge topic we can discuss maybe later on. But first of all, to put my foot on the door, I really need to choose what I accept. I recommend, if you choose at the beginning wisely and small jobs to start with. Again, there's a need for recompensation, a need for money, a need for financial support, but start with stuff that we are really sure that it's within our ability and within our skills. So when I start working, I start, for example, interpreting in a very small group like parent-teacher conferences. That's before I get my training and I get my master. Then it went a little bit to parent-teacher conferences. It went to a disciplinary unit. It went to behavior meeting. And by this time, after all this experience, I can do IEPs covered with iCovered. IEPs is legal, medical, educational, and social document and meetings. So it cover all of them. It cover everything. At the beginning, I was like, okay, let me hire an subcontract with an outside interpreter because I am not available. I don't have the skill and knowledge enough to do this huge meeting. But right now, with experience, I got there. I am able to interpret, which is not right, a whole board meeting by myself up to 3 hours, which is not right. Don't do that. But sometimes last minute things happen. So it is really important to know our ability, our skills. What are we able to do before we accept anything? So understand the assignment, understand the surrounding, the environment that this assignment is gonna take place in before we dive in to the job. So these are the questions I love to ask myself. Do I have the control to satisfy the demand of the assignment? Can I make my audience understand everything I want to say? Am I able to do that? Am I gonna miss any critical information? Am I gonna omit? Am I gonna stitch? Is it something I can really present on the highest level I can give? Do I have the linguistic skill for it? Like, for example, for me, I am an interpreter and translator. When it comes to literature, I do not translate literature. I give big credit and hat for everyone do literature because it's very sensitive, it's very critical. No matter what direction, Arabic, English, I'm gonna go to, this need a specialist with a higher skill than the skills that I have. So this is one thing I keep in mind before I accept whether it's a freelance job or at my job, which is when you are an employee, you really cannot say no. That's something, that's something comes with the job. So, also, am I physically and emotionally ready? If I want to be a medical interpreter, am I ready to be in an assignment in a hospital with children with cancer, for example? Am I ready to be in the court with a family that's torn apart and parents are fighting and kids are crying? Am I ready to be in the crime scene, looking at the maybe at the body, looking at these evidence? Am I ready emotionally, physically? Can I handle that stress? Or is it going to affect me? Am I going to suffer after the job for 2 and 3 days to recover? Or no, I have the ability to do it? That's a very important question because that's what keep us longer in the job. If we're gonna recline every assignment and need a week to rest after, that's not gonna help our future at all. So knowing ourselves and asking ourselves these questions is very important. Am I taking this assignment because I'm qualified, or because I want the experience, or because I want the money? Because if I'm qualified, the money is gonna come. If I'm experienced, the money will come. But if I'm going for the money, I'm not gonna have another job. It will affect my credibility. It's going to affect the trust of my clients because I'm looking only for money. So right now, which is sad to say, our rates as a translator and freelance interpreter is declining because we have a lot of competition in the market. So I cannot insist on having $5 an hour when it's realistically a lot of people working for 3 and 2. So we have to think about that too. Do we want to last in the business, or we just want to gain whatever, and this is a side job and we have another source for income? Am I able to keep my bias in check? When I accept to be interpreting, especially in conferences or in the UN or any political gathering or social gathering or religious one, am I able to keep my opinions to myself? Am I able to do not get offended? Do not change the tone or the meaning or the message of the speaker, no matter what? I will be able to isolate my feeling as a human being from that topic, or no? This is really important because a lot of interpreters goes into that pressure. Oh my God, I can't continue. I can't do this. Or they intend to skip some part because they don't agree. Or something new I'm noticing right now, and I'm noticing this in subtitling more, the translator put under the subtitler, put under his own opinion. Like if something he doesn't like, and that really annoys me a lot, they put their opinion under. That's not the translator opinion. That's what the character said. The translator disagree with that. So this is something, this is unprofessional. If I am watching this and I'm the client, I will never accept your translation. I will never deal with you. I might not pay you because you are interfering. So this is really important. Can we keep our feelings, opinions aside from the job? Are we ready physically? You have to understand also your body's ability to handle stress and work. You sleep well. That's something I look into when I work in the booth for like a whole day. So what do I eat before the job? What do I drink before the job? What do I wear? I need to be like really a professional, but at the same time comfortable. I need to know everything I'm gonna go through. I need to see the place. I need to find something like I think Dr. Joyce will remember. I spoke about that in the presentation. Like I need something to calm me down because I'm always nervous. Find the way that make you comfortable. Like you listen to the music, you go for a walk, you just drink something. So you know your need physically and how to control your body, because you're going to be in that booth for a good minute. It's not going to be like 15 minutes and you're going to go out. No, you have to stay there because your partner also depends on you. If you are doing simultaneously and you on your own, if you're doing consecutively, so both ways, you need to know your ability and how much you can handle. So professionally before the event, you need to read about the event. You need to review previous meeting presentation. Is there something you can, like you ask your client if there anything related to that event, if that's something related to that meeting, and you can look into it, see if they can help you create your small glossary. Now there's a way you can create your glossary by paper and pen or on an iPad or on the drive. There's a lot of ways that you can have a dictionary or a glossary handy. Study your speaker. It's very important to know your speaker. Believe me, this is that's the most amazing key of interpreting. If you know your speaker, the speed that they're gonna go to, the registry that they're gonna use, how often do they stop, the pronunciation. Sometimes they pronounce the word missing a letter, how close they sit next to the mic. If you hear your presenter, that's gonna save you a lot of hard time figuring out what they are saying or expecting what they might say if you miss it. So knowing your speaker is very important. Language, dialect, accent, tone, speed, style, all of these, even if you can see the speaker, their facial expressions is very important to understand what they're gonna say. Sometimes you miss the word because of the mic or the equipment, but their face telling you if they are happy or if they are mad or if they are sarcastic about the topic or they're making a comment. So this is really important also to know and to face. Again, identify your weaknesses. Know what's the thing that you cannot continue with, what's the thing that's really going to be an obstacle in your way, and try to work on them. Check your equipment, very important, and read at all times. Read about what you're gonna present, or because basically for the people who are listening to you, you are the presenter. They need to feel you, they need to understand you, you need to be convincing. So read about the topic, read as if it's your own presentation. And that's going to make it easy. First of all, you're going to gain the vocabulary, the terminology needed, and then you will be able to deliver the message in the best way you can. Bilingual or multilingual glossaries, that's something, it's up to you. You can create it. You can have the term definition, equivalent. Why do we need the definition? Because sometimes, according to the language, the equivalent can have many meanings. Sometimes the definition in this content will give you more and clear idea about what's that topic, what's that term mean. So the definition sometimes is really important for that. You can read like we said, if you have material, you can read the material, you can extract some terminology from it. You find the equivalent ahead of time, save them for if they come up, or remember them if you can. Listen also, you can listen to the speaker, listen to programs on the radio and the TV, watch it about the same topic, and you also can extract the vocabulary that's new to you. Understand the abbreviation and the acronyms. This is very important, and create them, like put them in your glossary, because that's very important. And like we said, glossary can be on Word document, an Excel document, on term base if you work on with one of the CAT tools. You can do whatever make you feel comfortable. You can do, as long as you have this material and this resource with you to make your life easier while you're working. Okay, so the other parts that I know ideally we have to do, and I know also realistically we might not be able to do it all the time. We might be able to practice once a week. If you are a full-time employee and you work late hours, you might be able to practice maybe once every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks. That's fine. but try to practice, to stay ready at all the times, improve your skill, increase your terminology. How you can, so when I talked previously, we said that the total capacity of your brain, this is where this fit. Total capacity of your brain is, you try to imagine your brain as a house. Divide the house into 4 rooms. Each room is responsible for something. One room you store your vocabulary at. One room you have your information about your speaker, about your venue, about the topic. So you read and know about the topic. One room you improve your language yourself. So if you need more training on English, on Arabic, on Spanish, so that room is going to be the room that you improve your skill in. And this is how you're gonna release the pressure from you. So if you went to the booth ready, you have the terminology you needed, you know your speaker, you understand his or her tone and needs and everything. You visited the venue before and you know where you're gonna sit. You know who's your partner is. It's really important if you are a partner and you work with this partner and you understand, you have codes, you don't waste time. These stuff will make you more comfortable when you are at the booth. You will focus on listening and delivering very easy. You're not going to dig into your brain and say, oh, what is that term? I'm going to look at my partner. What is that? I need this. You're not going to increase.
John,
You're not going to
when is
increase.
the dumpster gone?
You're not going to increase the gap between you and the
When
speaker,
are the-
trying to find the vocabulary or the terminology you are looking for. So a lot of these stuff, why do we practice, is very important. How do we practice? Again, self-reflect. You can sit and reflect. And I think all the students in the program, they are teaching you self-respect, and maybe you have a specific classes on how to listen to yourself, record yourself, listen to yourself, go back and listen to the speech again, highlight where you made some mistakes, how you can avoid them, practice saying the same speech all over again. Peer feedback, you can give it to one of your colleagues, to one of your friends. Professional evaluation, you can give it to your professor, to a friend you know who's already in the field for years, and you trust that they're going to evaluate you correctly without any bias because you are their friend. Talk about your day. So just record, coming back from work, record yourself talking about your day, because just recalling, that's improve your memory. I'm talking about my day, I'm recalling, then I go back home, I let it sit for 2-3 hours, and then okay, I did, oh, I forgot to say that. Oh, good, I summarized everything. Oh no, I went in detail. So this is a good way to improve your memory by talking and narrating your day. Site translation also, that's very important. If you work in an educational setting like me, they will ask you to site translate a lot. So this is depend on the material that you have and your ability to do it very fast. So also site translation is very good way to practice, and practice out loud. I cannot stress this enough. Do not practice in your head, because in your head, wow, you're amazing. You're doing great job, and there's not even one mistake. Try to say it, and then you will, especially if you are practicing during the week or after an assignment, or maybe when your brain is busy with something, you have an issue with the family. So you will try to speak and you will find yourself, wow, my speaker said four sentences and I'm still stuck on the third word. So that's very important. Out loud is really helpful. Practice any materials you have. Read anything you can get your hands on. If you are specialized in legal, medical, if you know that you work with this hospital more, and most of the patient that you see, for example, has mental issue, read about mental stuff. If it's about health issues, diabetes, blood pressure, whatever, if it's like a sport medicine. So try to read any materials, but if you have a specification, try to read about it. That's like increase your knowledge again. When do you practice? I just mentioned that. Before that, you have to practice two directions. So I know that most likely the Arabic interpreters and Chinese interpreters are the only two ones required to interpret two ways and simultaneously. But if you are doing consecutively, you have to do that. So practice both direction into your language A to your language B and vice versa. Try to practice when you are not stressed or tense. Try to practice when you're not tired, when you don't have a tight schedule. You can practice anytime fit for you. For me, I am very active at night, so I am not a morning person at all. I'm a night owl. I feel my energy, my brain responds to me, and I work better during nighttime. So find the time of the day that you can practice well. It's up to you. It doesn't need to be in the morning after the morning sport or something. No. If you like quietness, of course, quiet area. If it's you like me, you cannot focus without music. You can practice when you're listening to music. It's up to you. So these stuff you can alter these toward your desire, what make you feel comfortable, how can you concentrate best. And the most important thing, try to practice in a booth-like setting. Like try to keep yourself, if you like the light, dim the lights. Try to have a screen in front of you as if you are seeing your speaker. Try to find like a place a little bit noisy outside, because that's what we face sometimes in the booth. Like you can be sitting down inside and you can still hear stuff from outside. So make it booth like. That's gonna release the stress when you are really in the booth. Keep in your mind that interpreters are long life learners. So graduation does not mean that we are done. I've been looking and thinking about the next step PhD since I graduated. I didn't make one step toward it, but I'm still looking for it. I'm still trying to. So we will learn forever, because there's new things comes every day. There's new terminology, there's new topics, there are new incidents, new events, new crises happening every now and then. So we're going to learn. We are a long life learner. We are a researcher, because sometimes, just like translator, we need to sit and dig in, research a topic or a research a term to understand it fully before we go into the job. We are terminologists, and we like, from my experience, we really need to identify our skills. Our skills is very important. If it's not the linguistic skill, it is the emotional, social skills. So having the fundamental skills of interpreting is the first step. You are great in the language, that's the first step. You took the training, that's another first step. You have the passion for it, it's another first step. You have to complete everything to be able to do it, to be successful. Applying all these skills together is what makes us a great interpreter. It's not having the skills. The way to coordinate all these skills is what makes us an interpreter. And this is include my presentation. Thank you so much. I hope I wasn't speaking so fast and I did not exceed the time.
Manar, thank you so much. You were speaking fast, but I think we got it. We have a couple of minutes for questions for Manar. And I think maybe, Manar, do you need to share the screen still? Or if you take it off, maybe we can see participants, and better you can see who is raising their hand.
Yes, I can stop sharing.
Okay.
Thank you.
And of course, you're welcome also to put your question in chat if that's easier, or comment.
I'm sorry, I know I speak so fast. I told you that from the beginning. That's how fast my speakers are. That's how fast they speak when I interpret.
It makes perfect sense. We have a question or comment from Ronaldo. Please go ahead, Ronaldo.
Yes, just one. I can't comment very much. You included everything in a few minutes. There are tons of things there. Just one thing, Menard, you said there's no training for educational interpreting. That's coming up.
No
Uh,
certificate, no certificate, Dr. Bagura. There's,
Someone is talking together. Okay, with
okay.
the mic open. I
Okay.
didn't understand what you said.
No,
Menard.
right
I'm
now
sorry.
there is no certificate. There is a training. There's a lot of institutes. Actually, I took a training back in December. Yeah, during winter break. I took a training and I can send to Dr. Joyce if you are interested in having this resource. And it was amazing about educational interpreting, but there is no test yet. So I am a
Yes,
part of the AAITE, and we are working on having the test.
what I want to tell you is that it is happening by state.
Oh.
Our state, the state of Illinois, passed laws about that, and the Illinois State Board of Education hired our university to do that. We are finishing our second year qualifying interpreters for IEP meetings.
Okay.
I know the state of Massachusetts has it, and Sarah, one of the students who are doing her capstone right now, is working with that. I don't know if she wants to say something about it, Sarah. And also University of Massachusetts, Illinois is doing part of it. At Illinois, University of Massachusetts, Amherst is doing part of that. So it goes slowly. The 1970s was the time of court interpreting. The 1990s was the time of healthcare interpreting. And I think the 2020s on, it's the time
For educational.
Educational interpreting. It's going state by state. California has several things going on at this time, but as different states have different legislation, of course, it will take some time. Even court that began in the 70s, it's not the same thing all over the country.
Thank you. I didn't know that. So this is great.
And there is an association of, actually, it came to life last year. There is an association of educational interpreters.
Okay. So
Okay.
it's a test we just can go and take without like attending a program or anything, just a test, like the certificate test, like the NAJID one and these tests, right?
Yes, and the certificates or the certification of what I was saying is valid within the state.
Okay.
So what we are doing here is for the school districts in Illinois, same thing as Massachusetts, etc. There's not a national program, but there are state programs.
Yeah,
Okay.
I want to be sure that we have time for our second presentation, but just briefly, I want to offer that we can send information about the program that we're involved in that Dr. Pagoda has mentioned. And also I wanted to note that Sarah has said in chat that Washington State is also working on this. And Sarah, if you don't mind, we have also a question from Nuria. I think that it really it deserves a very involved answer, but Manar, if you can give her a 1-minute answer. How do you prepare psychologically and emotionally to perform a job, for example, to work in a medical setting?
That's hard. That's hard, to be honest with you. So first of all, I try my best, like before, because we face these things in IEPs too. It's kind of like when we work with students with autism and all that, these health situation, we feel the same. So first of all, I try my best before I go to the meeting to know about the students or the family or the patient at your case, and read more about their situation, and try to think about it as I need to be there as a positive impact for the family. I need to be there to give them more hope through my interpreting, not to be devastated and show them. So I try a lot to control my facial expressions, to try to use a little bit cheerful tone, or like reasonable tone. If the parents cry, well, they cry a lot, I try to look at my team to give her a minute. We try to just like try to make her okay. We faced these cases before. You just like we can do our best. So I try my best to be a positive presence in that meeting, not to be a negative one. Because most of the time the families are devastated. They are talking about kids in kindergarten. And I'm sorry if I didn't really answer in a medical way, because this is what I face. So I cannot speak about being in the hospital, because I maybe went there once or twice and it was a regular meeting. So, but I try to be familiar with everything before I go, what's that kid went through, what that family went through, to know what's the approach I'm gonna take when I work with them. And then I go home and cry.
Well, thank you so much.
Sarah,
for raising
Sarah
that.
works for a hospital, so
Yeah.
she might add
And,
something there.
you know, maybe someday we'll have a whole session just devoted to that. I think it really deserves
Okay.
it. Thanks so much, Manar. Thanks for raising.
Thank you.
Thank you for the questions. Wonderful presentation.